We talked about him not being able to say no, right? But there was one man that you mentioned that he said no to, and it was Louis Farrakhan. He came to visit him, and he was trying to revive the nation.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, Farrakhan told me this story that really amazed me because it.
You got to spend time with him also.
I did. I got to meet
wow,
Minister
you're with
Farrakhan.
everybody.
Yeah, they. I'm very persistent. I get people to talk to me. So, Ali became a Muslim because of the Nation of Islam, because of Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the religion; it was race. It was a big part of it. He liked what it had to say about being black in America. So when Elijah Muhammad died, Elijah's sons took the Nation of Islam in a different direction, eventually broke it up, and took their followers into Orthodox Islam. And Ali went along and became a more traditional Muslim. But Minister Farrakhan decided he wanted to try to rebuild the Nation of Islam and restore the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. So he went to Muhammad Ali and said, "Brother Muhammad, we did not become Muslims because of the Quran. We became Muslims because of the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. I want to restore the teachings. I want to rebuild the Nation of Islam, and will you come with me?" And the story that Farrakhan told me is that they were in Ali's kitchen, and there was a football game on TV, and Ali said, "Farrakhan, do you see that TV? You see that football game? How many people are in that stadium?" And Ali said, "Everybody in that stadium knows me, but none of them know you. Get out. I'm not coming with you. I'm not coming back to the Nation of Islam." And it was an interesting story because it doesn't really. I think it was a very honest moment.
How long? Because earlier in his career, he was afraid that they would kill him if he left the nation.
That's right. He was. He was afraid of Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad, as long as he was alive, was ran that organization with a lot of power. And obviously people felt like Malcolm X and others who crossed Elijah Muhammad paid for it. And Ali mentioned a couple of times that he was afraid if he ever left that he might be assassinated.
Yeah. Now I've talked about. You mentioned that towards the end of your book. You talk about his transition with Wallace D. Muhammad. So that's a key point that I'm trying to figure out because this was around what he was probably in his late 30s. Now that he finally accepted Islam, real Islam, what we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, around what?
It would have been the late 70s.
The late 70s?
Early 80s.
Do you think he was considering coming over to Islam from the nation at that point when he was scared that they were going to kill him?
No, I don't think so. I think it was Elijah Muhammad's sons that helped him, guided him toward real Islam.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've interviewed many. They have captains and former ministers from the nation, and we see a lot of this transition towards the end. Him and Malcolm also. Malcolm ended up leaving the nation, and because I make this differentiation, many people don't know that there's as Orthodox Muslims we don't consider this is kind of not real Islam, you know what I mean? Because the teachings of real Islam, when, for instance, like what they originally believed in, white man's the devil, this, that has nothing to do. That's like, worshiping a man. Real Islam calls about only worshiping the Creator. So many of these people who study the real Islam, they saw that, hold on, this has nothing, if you just open up the Quran, this has nothing to do with the real teachings. Mm-hmm. And they end up making that transition. But it's interesting that I'm trying to figure out at what point, because he was scared, but Wallace D ended up bringing a lot of people over. And then what happens from there, Farrakhan visits him to try to revive it, but then he said no.
Right, he was loyal to Wallace D. And one of the things that happened when Elijah died is Herbert told Ali that my father wanted you to listen to Wallace and to do whatever Wallace says.
Wait, Herbert
is Wallace's brother.
Oh, that's his brother.
Yeah,
now. Okay.
They're both sons of Elijah.
Which one is older?
I think Herbert was the older.
Herbert was the older. Okay,
I think so. And it was Herbert who said, "My father wishes for you to follow his successor, to follow Wallace D, and do whatever he is told, whatever he says." And Ali did that, and Wallace then began to transition toward Orthodox Islam, and Ali followed him.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would have done that prior to Elijah's death.
You